G'day and welcome to another edition of the Aussie Ideas Man. This is part 3 of the evaluation of Modern Sunlight's evaluation of the Cretin at APTERA Owners Club. It's more than a week since I did part 2, but that's because I had an 8-day overseas holiday and I was in no mood to be doing anything, even though I did take my laptop and had the internet. There's still a long way to go on this video. I've left off where the end of part 2 he mentions Bill Smith. I've got nothing to say about Bill. He's a pretty nice guy and irrelevant to anything to do with his evaluation of the Cretin. I think I'll be cutting a lot out because there's still something like 40 minutes to go and most of it's nonsense. So I'll just have to cut large chunks out of it. So here we go.
Because I think the most satisfaction I got was a post by Bill Smith, 99 something something, who said, on one of my videos, there's really no need for this because APTERA is doing everything perfectly themselves to warn users. That's kind of why I threw in one of my comments on Steve's recent videos about the general aviation community. I love the aviation community as
I have listened to this for 16 minutes and I haven't stopped it because he hasn't evaluated the Cretin at all. He's on that second point, and APTERA Motors rant, which I'm not too interested in because his rant is so disjointed. He can't put his ideas together very well at all. He doesn't know how to edit his videos so that he can take out the rubbish. So what I'll do is just remove that whole 16 minutes up to here and see if things get a little better.
a whole. A solution could get worked out. And sometimes maybe that solution is just walk away, prevent that kid who's joined the community and all excited about this thing and thinks it's, the bee's knees, pulling out his credit card and plopping down $1,000 he really shouldn't be plopping down in the first place. And the only alternative he has, if he posts it and says, hey, this, I thought this was a good idea, but wow, these guys are taking a long time, is they get shamed, by tactics like, I never told you, to invest, never do that. Never. Well, yeah, you did. In all these small little ways, you really did. So, without providing a balanced viewpoint of all these little signs and getting these posts on there, even in the death throes of APTERA today, there's people out there saying, yeah, it's a good thing they are in Korea because you're right. They got the ABS systems and yeah, this is giving, the hopes just never end. Hope springs eternal.
He's right about that, and the Cretin is guilty of that. Promoting so much positivity when the facts point to the silly trike never coming to light. The facts are so much stronger now that it will never come to light. The positivity should have been reduced by a large factor, and it hasn't. And the balanced viewpoint is suppressed. It's extremely suppressed. He's right about that.
APTERA as an altruistic approach to taking a chunk out of the pie of CO2 emissions is a real deal. It was a real sell point for a lot of people in the community. And I really enjoyed that idea, which is why my title of Modern Sunlight, which by the way is supposed to denote sustainable energy usage. So modern sunlight would be I would consider, I mean, there's obviously a gray line in it, but I would consider modern sunlight to be any sunlight that's the only source of energy this earth has ever known and will ever know, that so far that we know of, or have developed. Modern sunlight would be energy that's come from the sun within the last year. This is barring nuclear fission and fusion, of course. Now, until we actually, develop and implement fission to the level of we have the airlines industry of safety, and or fusion comes to fruition, which it's always 5 years away and has been for the last 50 years. Uh, we need to focus with our exponential growth of energy use on modern sunlight. And I love this transition between ancient sunlight and modern sunlight. Ancient sunlight being what took the earth billions of years to store the rays of the sun was fuel and coal, natural gas, coal, and oil. And so until fission or fusion or some other magical alternative for a sustainable energy source is developed, we really do need to spend this generation and the next couple generations probably focused on, hey, how do we use the sunlight that's just fallen in the last lifetime, let's say. So lifetime used to be only modern sunlight. Before the industrial revolution and the industrial age, we used manual labor and ox and beasts of burden that were grown under modern sunlight to do all of our energy source and slave labor, unfortunately, which is a cancer. We actually were able to get rid of economically after the Industrial Revolution because you know it wasn't as lucrative as much as the writing was on the wall, and it's sad to think it took that type of development and technology to get rid of it, but kinda could be there's a statement to be made that hey, we don't need this anymore, and now the morality forces took over what was going on. And slavery, by the way, is something that's gone on since the beginning of mankind because there were no machines. All we had to operate with was muscle, either human or animal or beasts of burden, if you want to call them. And yeah, so the whole idea behind the idea of modern sunlight is baked into the ethos of APTERA. I bought into it. I thought it was beautiful. I thought this is minimizing our footprint in our generation. It's what we need to be doing. Everybody kind of agrees on that topic, anyways, within the community. And it was a beautiful thing. There's nothing wrong with promoting that. I think it's great. Of course, once I say something disparaging against APTERA, modern sunlight gets, as an idea, gets slammed by the troll hunters. So that's where it's at today.
I think I should stop it there. He's spent ages trying to explain why he calls himself modern sunlight, and it is even more garbled than everything else he's talked about. The guy is a definite scatterbrain. But I wanted to get to this point where he did talk about modern sunlight, and now he's he's just fried my brain after listening to it, such that it's very hard for me to make comments. I can see no distinction between ancient sunlight and modern sunlight. It just seems like nonsense straight off the bat. He's got some wacky idea and he's trying to sell it to us, but I don't think it's worth listening to. I can't see why he has to call himself modern sunlight, because what has he got to do with anything? He's just a disgruntled investor and he needs to identify himself as that more than making some vague connection to the sun. He even disagrees with solar being put on APTERA, and that's the sun part. There's still 13 minutes to go, and I'm probably going to remove all of it unless he can actually say something worthwhile.
But the writing is on the wall no matter how you read through this. Um, my biggest gripe today is that Terra should be taking down the invest option on their website, repair their image. This would be a perfect one for Bill Gates. He's working on it now regularly. Um, and to him, well, I still think he would have to, if he's going to let these two guys do it, he needs to count on a 10x. So they're saying 60 million. I would count on 600 million in order because of their mismanagement techniques to get this car to production. He would have to be willing to give that away essentially, which 600 million to somebody who's in the tens of billions of net worth is a drop in the bucket still. It's literally $20 to a guy like me, literally. Um, he could do it, and it might bring this car. If that, barring any of that happening, or I guess another alternative is somebody, and there might be vultures waiting on the sidelines. Maybe some of these big money guys are just waiting for them to file Chapter 11 or 13 and come in with liabilities that they owe them and take over the company themselves and bring it to market. That could happen, but it'd be another couple of years. But it'd also have to be somebody with the technical expertise these guys don't contain. So they're very rare chances. You're better off buying $1,000 worth of lottery tickets than you are investing $1,000 today. This company is in a shambles. Do not invest, is the word of the day.
Well, I didn't like just about everything he said. So what I think I'll do is just finish off by showing you how things have slowed down. Since they came out with the two PIs, Apollo and Herpes, things were supposed to start to go fast. But you have a look at how many months have passed and how so little has been done. We have these videos now that just talk, talk, talk because nothing is happening, and it's old talk. So I'll run through in date order all the videos that have been shown, and I will point out all the ones that have got no news about APTERA. And what I think I'll do is I'll put in red those that don't even have an APTERA. They've got some fake vehicles and claim to be talking about APTERA. And I'll put in green the ones that are about APTERA but are nothing but old news. So that's all for me. Bye for now. Stay safe.